Imagine pouring your heart and soul into a sport only to wake up one day and realize it has taken more than it has given you, draining your energy, straining your relationship, and leaving you wondering if the sacrifice was even worth it. Good morning, my name is Santiago Nucete. Today I'll be presenting how safe is a sport you really love. My research question was, to what extent does long-term participation in sport create pressure, burnout, as well as social challenges that negatively impact adulthood? Some solutions I came up with were encouraging social connections, like building strong support athletes feel less isolated, effective coaching, making a better environment for the athlete so they feel more secure and better. Balanced scheduling helps athletes manage their time and training with school and extracurriculars. Mental health support builds tools for the athletes. Like if you have a therapist, you have someone to talk to, or a school counselor. Makes the athlete feel less isolated. Athletes face long-term pressure from coaches, media, teammates. This stress can lead to burnout, which includes emotional exhaustion, lesser motivation, and even weight loss. This graph shows even 30% of athletes are at risk of burnout, while some developing over time. This shows that long-term participation in sport doesn't always build resilience. It can also lead to decline. We've seen this from professional athlete Simone Biles, who stepped back from her competition to protect her mental health. Young athletes struggle with sports, academics, and personal life, and social media makes it worse, adding pressure. As provided from the College Board stimulus, athletes facing burnout often feel abandoned, much like empty malls and houses. Once full of life, these places are now forgotten. Just as some athletes often, after years of dedication, feel lost, like abandoned buildings, they can lose purpose and passion. Without support, many struggle alone. Some limitations I came up with of my solutions were mental health resources, lack of confidence, external pressures, and no rest time. Mental health, limited access to like therapists because they also might be a little bit pricey, right? Lack of confidence, constant comparison from like teammates or coaches that are trying to compare you to another teammates of yours. External pressures like the media, coaches getting in your head and like trying to like force you to do something you don't want. No rest time. Oftentimes athletes, when their coaches are like trying to get something more out of them, they try to push themselves harder and like align them to have no rest time. As in fact, they have no rest time because they're trying to build more than what they already have. This graph shows that burnout shifts throughout the season. Even during vacation, athletes still feel burnout as from the past seasons. Yes, effective coaching does support mental health and it helps prevent burnout. However, when coaches show favoritism in athletes, overcritical athletes may feel pressure to overtrain just to prove themselves, leading to more stress and exhaustion. Robert Baggio, one of Italy's greatest football players, faced an intense pressure during the 1994 World Cup final. The physical exhaustion after playing 120 minutes and consistent overload contributed to his breakdown. Baggio's missed penalty was a result of perceiving the moment as a threat rather than a challenge, which inspired his decision-making performance, showing how extreme stress can overwhelm the most skilled players. Another College Board provided stimulus provided by Colin Powell. They do not glorify words, they testify the glory of the human spirit. This shows how athletes and such as soldiers, they try to push beyond their limits to try to like prove someone wrong or like trying to get more out of a coach when in reality they don't have to because they're already proven a lot. It's just sometimes coaches show favoritism. And yeah. Imagine dedicating years of your life to a sport, pushing past exhaustion, only to feel like it has left you drained and isolated. This reality that long-term participation in sport doesn't always build resilience. It can lead to burnout, emotional pressure, social withdrawal. This shows that over time, as you struggle with this and stay silent, feeling abandoned, like those abandoned buildings. But this doesn't have to be the norm. By recognizing warning signs, prioritizing mental health, and supporting coaches implementing better coaching strategies, athletes can balance instead of burnout. Thank you.
Alright, sorry, I'm scribbling stuff down. Alright, I got two questions for you, Something. First question, what information did you need before you began the whole process? And
Uh,
then how'd you use it?
some information I needed was kind of like you have to be an athlete to kind of like implement these because I felt like sometimes I felt abandoned with my coaches. So kind of like a little background, like playing the sport, like helped me a little bit before my research.
Okay. And what additional questions popped up as you're working your way through everything?
Some additional questions that popped up were like, I would say, like, how is the athlete feeling at the moment? Like, do they feel abandoned? Like, do they feel happy? Yeah.